And we're back with chapter 9, still at basically the very beginning of the Bible. We just have this itty bitty little piece that we've done so far, and this is the rest that we have to get through that I've committed myself to over what feels like eons from now. The last place we left off at was Noah coming off the ark with his family. Not really given what's like a nice southern way of saying he doesn't care. Not given a care. As my classmate in second grade said, I don't give a care. His kids didn't know how to speak. We're now on a new chapter, not just chapter number, but also chapter title. Chapter 9, God's Covenant with Noah. Now, if you don't know what a covenant is, I feel like some of these things are like religious terms. I mean, I guess most people should know. I've only ever really heard of it in a religious context, but a covenant is like a promise or an agreement, or kind of a mix between the two, actually. The promise and an agreement mixed together, a holy agreement promise. If you've seen the Raiders Ark, you know the Ark of the Covenant. That's probably what a lot of you thought if you haven't read the Bible or been stuck in a religious circle. Anyway, where were we? The last thing that God said was that day and night cycles in summer and winter, and what else was it? Cold and heat, and seed time and harvest would never cease. All of those things would continue after the flood, and that he would never kill everyone again. Thanks, God. Thanks for not wiping out the earth. He also said that wickedness was like in children from birth. I thought that was interesting because we don't talk about that a lot. Let's kick off chapter 9. We've actually got 2 titles in this chapter. It's not just God's Covenant with Noah. Stay tuned to find out what the next name is. God's Covenant with Noah. Then God blessed Noah and his sons, not the daughters, not the wives, saying to them, be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth. There we go again. I mentioned this, I think, with Adam and Eve, but be fruitful and multiply is the line that a lot of people use to argue for having kids, despite the fact that the earth is plenty populated now, and he was talking to literally people starting from scratch. Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth. The fear and dread of you will fall on the beasts of the earth. Ooh, spooky. Like they'll be scared of you. And on all the birds in the sky. On every creature that moves, oh, here we go again. We're listing all things that exist. On every creature that moves along the ground, and on all the fish in the sea. They are given into your hands. Everything that lives and moves about, everything that lives and moves about will be food for you. Just as I gave you the green plants, I now give you everything. Thanks, God. Again, there's some pretty serious arguments against climate change for this today. If you were to apply this same reasoning, like the animals are ours, eat them, make them and eat them. It's going really badly in the United States with factory farming right now. If you don't know, cows are the big, I didn't even contextualize that. I apologize. Cows are like one of the biggest contributors to climate change because they eat tons of food, they destroy the environment, and then that turns into gas. And they literally, I'm not kidding about this, and I know it sounds ridiculous, fart it back into the atmosphere, which becomes a part. And the thing is, people dismiss this argument because it sounds so ridiculous. They go, oh, that's absurd. That can't be the truth. But it is. It's methane gas going back into the atmosphere and trapping heat in the part of the atmosphere that maybe it's the ozone layer. I might be actually mixing that part up. But part of the atmosphere that contains it, the green zone. God, what is it called? Supposed to basically let heat out, but instead what's happening is it's coming in from the sun, and then it's not reflecting back out. It's getting trapped because of the gases in the air. I gotta stop talking about climate change. I'm just gonna lose followers over that. It doesn't matter what the truth is, ironically. But anyways, everything's gonna be scared of you is basically what he's saying, and they're all yours. They are given into your hands. Those are the words that he uses. Everything that lives and moves, and he said green plants. I now give you everything. I said that already. But you must not eat meat that has its lifeblood still in it. That's also interesting because we do that in parts of the world. We eat things while they're alive. And for your lifeblood, I will surely demand an accounting. I will demand an accounting from every animal and from each human being too. Okay. I will demand an accounting for the life of another human being. Wait, what does that mean? And from each human being, too, I will demand an accounting for the life of another human being. What does that mean? Okay, broken paragraph again. I think he's going to explain it. That doesn't happen a lot. There's not a lot of explanation sometimes. Whoever sheds human blood, by humans shall their blood be shed. What about dictators? For in the image of God has God made mankind. But there's lots of people who literally get away with murder and die old age. There were tons of people from I don't know if I'm allowed to say certain words on YouTube. There were a lot of people from the regime in World War II who were never caught or tried or made to suffer. They killed lots of people and then just lived happy lives. That's a reality of the world we live in. Yeah, make stink twice. Whoever sheds human blood by human shall have their blood be shed. Okay, again, let's move on. I can't just, I'm sorry for going so slowly through some of this. It's just, we got to dissect it. We got to talk about some of this, because what am I supposed to make of it? You tell me. That's your job. I'm doing my best here. No, that's not true. I could probably do better, but I'd rather make jokes. As for you, be fruitful and increase in number. Multiply on the earth and increase upon it. Then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, I now establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with you, the birds, the livestock, and all the wild animals, all those that came out of the ark with you. Every living creature. Yeah, we got it. I wonder if Noah was ever like, I understand. I get what you're saying. Everything, God, I got it. Probably not. I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, this is a sign. Oh, people love this part. This is the sign, not a sign. This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you. A covenant for all generations to come. Colon. He puts a colon on it right there. Good use of a colon. I wonder if that's in other languages. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all the living creatures of every kind. That's interesting because there's pretty much a rainbow happening at all times everywhere on the planet. We know this because of telecommunications. We just know. We know there's always a rainbow because of the water cycles, because there's clouds, and from some angle there's a rainbow for people because of the way light passes through water particles. I mean, come on. So he's always thinking about it. He's always remembering about it. Remembering it. I can't even speak. I mean, the thing is, this is the point in the conversation. If you point stuff out like this to someone, they go, oh, well, God's omnipotent. He can think of everything. He's outside of dimensions. And yeah, I guess there's no argument against that. You're right. He's always remembering and he's always conscious of everything. He's watching people constantly die on the earth because that's also happening. Every single conflict that exists, every dead baby, every sad parents, every friend, child, family member, all over the world is being brutally murdered. He sits there and is present for. Something to think about. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on the earth. So God said to Noah, this is the sign of the covenant I have established between me and all life on the earth. I don't know why they repeat stuff so much. You might think I'm backtracking through the chapter. I'm not. They're just saying it again and again. Poetry. I mean, it doesn't sound super poetic in English, but actually that's a part of the translation. It's supposed to kind of mix accuracy with the poetic nature of the way it was written. Anyway, here's our second name. We're still in chapter 9, but there's a new section title, The Sons of Noah. I guess we're done with Noah here. Let's find out what actually happens after this. I don't know what order all these things happen in. And there's so many chapters in the Old Testament I just know nothing about. But let's get into it. Things might getting a little fuzzy for some of you if you've never learned anything outside of Noah. The sons of Noah who came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth, which we know because we read about them earlier. Ham was the father of Canaan. These were the three sons of Noah, and from them came the people who were scattered over the whole earth. So these three boys are responsible for everything. Noah, a man of the soil. What makes him a man of the soil? I don't know. Proceeded to plant a vineyard. When he drank some of its wine, this conflicts with the church I grew up in. Well, not the one I grew up in, but the Church of Christ beliefs. Well, not all the Church of Christ beliefs. The conservative branch of the Church of Christ. They don't believe that, well, okay. I got to backpedal again. There's a group of people, including all the ones that attend and live near, basically all the ones near Harding University in Searcy, Arkansas, which is where I went to college. They're up there in terms of Christian colleges. They don't allow alcohol. They don't allow drinking, whether or not you're of age. There had been loopholes to this, but when I was there, it was a dry county and you pretty much couldn't get alcohol anywhere. It was illegal to sell, with the exception of very few loopholes. There was like a veterans bar nearby where veterans could drink with an ID. Otherwise, it was a dry county. My own grandparents, and I'm sure a healthy number of other people from their generation, believe that wine, when it's mentioned in the Bible, was actually young wine, like grape juice or something. It was like derived from grapes, but it was non-alcoholic, which does make this story here pretty strange because when he drank some of its wine, he became drunk and lay uncovered in his tent. So I guess he was able to keep the tent up. Well, that doesn't make any sense. He was drunk. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked and told his two brothers outside. Hey guys, Dad's naked, and he's 600 years old. But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it across their shoulders. Their shoulders? Then, a case of me not reading enough, then they walked in backward and covered their father's naked body. It's nice of them. They were like, probably, they got to be like 500 themselves, and they're just respecting their father from a distance. Their faces were turned the other way so that they would not see their father naked. Thanks, boys. When Noah awoke from his wine and found out what his youngest son had done to him, he said, oof, a separate paragraph again. Cursed be Canaan, the lowest of slaves. I guess they instantly started having slavery. All the other people died. Maybe there was slavery before in the early generations of humans. The lowest of slaves will he be to his brothers. He also said, this is the narrator again. He also said, praise be to the Lord. Okay, so it's Noah's talking again, if that wasn't obvious. Praise be to the Lord, the God of Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem. May God extend Japheth's territory. May Japheth live in the tents of Shem. Why is he specifying these things in particular? And may Canaan be the slave of Japheth. After the flood, Noah lived 350 years. Why is this the structure and the pacing of this story? Noah goes on this tirade, this long monologue. I guess it wasn't that long, but he just gets really angry. After the flood, Noah lived 350 years. Noah lived a total of 950 years, and then he died. What a callback. End of chapter. Let's get this guy in here. And that chapter's over. And then he died. Man, if you've been following along, you will know that was a flawless callback to our earlier chapter, the genealogy chapter, which I actually really enjoyed recording. Thought it was going to be super boring, but then it was a lot of fun. Go back and watch those earlier videos. Hit the like button. I mean, give me some traction here. I need you guys to elevate me. And then he died. So that's it. That's the end of Noah. I didn't even look at the next chapter. I was so smitten with how that ended. So that's it for chapter 9. Come tune in, come over the earth, and tune in for the next video.